Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service.
What is wrong with a nipple bottle? That's the question we're going to answer tonight on this episode of Aussie Tech Heads and more. So welcome. Another episode, Another week and another jumping into the land of tech to find out all the answers to all the questions you've never wondered. Excellent. Excellent. We're brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au and you can find us exactly at that address and you will find nice little shared hosting servers and enough to pump up any web page to the highest of heights.
With the wonderful C panel.
Oh, the C panel's great. Yes, it's nice and easy. Don't worry about that other Plesk thing. We're C panel all the way. And also brought to you by Scope Education or scopeiteducation.com.au.
Sure it is.
And I'll have a little yak about that later on. You would have remembered Frank from last week. He came on and spoke about it. Well, I'm just going to remind you about it in a little while. All right. So what's been going on? Let's move. Who's first? Warlock. What's going on? Hello. Welcome back.
Do you remember me? I was here a while ago, just for a little bit.
Yes. How you been?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I've got too many late night shifts and afternoon, evening shifts and stuff like this, so I haven't been able to make it as much as I'd like to, but I managed to scam something this week, so it's doing all right. Next week, though, I think I'm going to be having the same problem again because I'll be doing nights. So
right. Do they? How do you go? Like, is it the longer you're there, the more you can say no to these night shifts, or does everyone just take
the other way
turns?
around? Because they know that you're capable of handling working on your own, and you can fix up problems and solve issues. They're like, okay, you can do nights and you can do the late evening shifts and weekends, and the people who are not quite so good can do the 9 to 5 weeks. So you sort of screw yourself by being good at your job.
Yes. Now, do you take phone calls or you just take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take phone calls, fix problems.
Right.
Charge the customers. Log on to Linux boxes and find out how they screwed up their .ht access and blocked everyone from the site and.
Right.
Watch them get their WordPress hacked because it's version 3.2.
Right. And yes, okay. So that sounds interesting. So is there do a lot of people ring you up? Like, it's obviously to have someone manning the phones all night. There's obviously people ringing. Is it slow? Probably slower than the day. But do you get under pressure of a night?
No, not really under pressure unless there's some big problem, which rarely happens. You know, a lot of it is. We have some people who might have a VPS and they'll ring up in the middle of the night because they have some big website on there that's running full stack on the VPS and needs something fixed up because it's getting a bit too much. Or we do a lot of the billing and payments overnight for direct deposits and BPays and things.
Oh, yeah.
All the way.
Excellent. All right. And William, he's back. How you doing, Will?
Yes, sir. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. What have you been up to haircut, Will, this week?
Yeah, I literally just walked in the door and then Glenn sends me a message going, "You want something?" I'm like, "Is it that time already?"
Oh, it's late night shopping. So yes, so you get haircuts down at late night barbers.
Well, the chick we used to go to when we were living at Camira, she's called Nuts Cuts.
Oh, really?
Her place, yeah.
Sounds painful.
NUTZ, and
ouch.
we still go to her because she's the best we've found. It's on every 3 months we go there, and she's open late nights Thursday night. So yeah, it's good because on the way home I don't get home till 6 o'clock and stuff. So by the time we get home, pick sign up and go back there, it's 6:30, and yeah.
Does she do the cup and cough?
No, she's not.
Now speaking,
that's a difference.
Did you see the one I posted a picture of the other day to Facebook? You get a
Yes, I was gonna
haircut
ask you about
and
that.
a free beer for $25.
Yeah, that was pretty
I'm going
cool.
there from now on. Get a beer. Jeez, that's nice.
I wonder how long that's going to last before he gets shut down by a do-gooder.
Yeah, probably doesn't have a liquor license.
Now that
Well, the last one I went to, they just gave you a bottle of water. I'm like, what the heck? Get beer? Yeah.
yeah. Well, next time Jace goes in there, the guy goes, "Oh, there's no more beer." Some idiot posted it on Facebook.
They blabbed about it.
That's right. The secret's out.
That's it.
All right, so that's not bad. Was it $25 on it, Jace? Haircut, beer, and
Haircut and a
scalp
beer.
massage. Nice work.
it.
Nice work. All right, let's get cracking, eh? Where am I going to start? Oh, look, let's start off with the email. It's got an email or a Facebook question through the week, sent straight to facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, and it's from Daniel. Now, we bring this up because...
Well, it's not really an email if it went to Facebook, is it?
It is. It was mail that was delivered electronically.
It isn't he?
Yeah. So now, from Daniel, now Warlock tells me he's done what Daniel has been asking. So I'll read in part. I'll start by saying, keep up the good work. Oh, blah, blah. You don't have to. You can say, you guys are
Thanks.
so good. You're a legend. Oh, stop it.
Best show ever. #1 hit on YouTube.
What happened?
We're #1 hit on YouTube, right?
Yeah, all that sort of stuff, yeah. Now, look, he goes through all the stuff. He loves the stuff enough, and then he goes, I need some help. Ah, yes, here comes the rub. Yep. Here's the rub. Now, he has a...
How much does he want? I've got a fiver.
He's got an old
kids.
3M old, a 3-month-old.
3-month-old.
3-month-old XPS Dell desktop running Windows 8.1. Wife uses it for home accounting business. However, has come up against a problem. She's a prospective customer who runs with the Mac accounting software that won't communicate with Windows. Oh. Therefore, I'm looking for information on running Mac OS on Windows, either via dual boot or virtual machine. I've tried VMware Player and also VirtualBox software, but I've had issues downloading a legit copy of Mac OS. Yes, we probably got to go and burn a CD off someone. I've tried torrent copy. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, the thought came to my mind that he'd probably have to go in and make a Hackintosh. And Jace goes, he's done one of those. What can you tell us about making Macintosh's Mac OS X work on PCs? Jace.
Well, that's the thing. The good thing about the Dells is they tend to often have the same type of motherboard as the Macintosh desktop computers, so they can be quite compatible. Just check that the graphics, the CPU, and the chipset on there are compatible with the Mac. You can find it on Mac websites that are all about Hackintosh. I went there and found a lot of information, and I'd just bought a cheap PC that had been cleared out from a friend's company. It was like $50 for a Dell desktop, and it was a tower, and the Mac OS X just ran beautifully on that. There was a problem originally because there wasn't any drivers for NVIDIA cards, but people were making their own drivers because the problem with NVIDIA is they've never wanted to release their driver information or create drivers for Linux or anything like that. So it's been difficult to create one that works properly, but AMD was always really good. And also the Intel built-in graphics cards that nobody, of course, would use in their right mind, would they, Glenn? And
what's a graphics card? Nothing. Who cares?
So yeah, the Dells tend to be quite good because they use similar components to the Macintosh, so that a lot of them can be compatible straight out of the box. So I'd say try a dual boot if you can. VMware you might have a bit of a problem depending on compatibility, but if it is compatible, running everything bare metal is always best for any OS if you can do it. I always prefer to do a dual boot. I've done that on my MacBook Pro. I use Boot Camp on there and dual boot into Windows on that one. And it's always a lot better than trying to emulate stuff because, you've got an OS on an OS and it's emulating and it's a bit slower. So if you can, dual boot it and see if that'll go. But go to the Mac OS X 8.6 Hackintosh forums and just type in the model of your Dell XPS computer and see what people have had, what luck they've had there. They might even have clues and say, well, it works in this situation, but you might need this particular driver to download afterwards to run your graphics chip or something like that.
Yeah, excellent. So, look, I don't suppose, you're not going to put Mac OS X on there and start running everything under the sun. Just wants to put on a little accounting software. But also, I can't see a problem. Well, if you went to go and buy Mac OS X, it's only like $30 anyway, isn't it? And with that, you get, 5 licenses? So
Something like that, yeah.
yeah, so like, why would you even bother going to get a dodgy copy? Just go and buy it. Oh no, I don't know if you can now. Actually, can you? It's all downloadable now.
All downloadable, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to find someone with a Mac, and they'll download your copy. Just tell them, give them a couple of beers for say that takes care of the license, and you'll be right.
I'm sure that's how Apple works.
Yes, couple of beers, couple of ciders, eh? Apple ciders.
Couple of days, beautiful, mate.
Beautiful. So, look, that sounds like it might be the way to go. I think, look, I've got a version of VMware going here. It's ESCI 5.5, and yes, Mac OS X is in the supported list. I've tried to get that going, but only real quickly, and I got up to a certain stage. It didn't go any further. But look, it all depends on hardware with those VM machines. But as Warlock says, just go to that forum and have a look for your machine and try that. That's probably the best thing you can do. And if not, just get a copy of it from your mate or somewhere and just push it on, just scrunch it on. Just do as best you can. See how it goes. All right, good stuff. I hope wish you luck, and let us know how you go if you have some success.
Yep, check out osx86project.org and insanelymac.com. Both of those very good.
Now, something I've come across this week, I thought, I'll impart my knowledge, is I was sitting down and I had a couple of websites and that I was looking at, and I thought, oh, look, I'm getting confused. I've got website A, website B, website C, and I was trying to, similar to Jace, someone had an issue with something or other on 3 different ones, and I was trying to work out 3 different ones. And I thought, I had Firefox with one, Chrome with another, and IE with another. So because I thought I'm going to cross pollinate here, and something.
And in the future, you'll be able to have to test Spartan as well, which is the new browser from Microsoft.
Yeah, well, as soon as Spartan comes out, I'm dumping IE straight away, like a sack of spuds, like a school case. It's dumped. But anyway,
this is Spartan.
And don't forget, you got Canary as well.
Yeah.
Which is the 64-bit version of Chrome.
Oh, yeah.
I run that. That's great.
Yeah, so anyway, I found this thing. I said, wouldn't it be nice if you could have just different desktops, So you could just go, move one away, come on, and different desktops. Oh, I found it. It's called Dexpot, D-E-X-P-O-T.
I used to run that.
You know it. It's good.
When I worked at HP, I had a laptop screen and a desktop screen, and I wanted to do a lot of switching between desktops, so I used Dexpot. That's fantastic software. I love it.
Yeah, it is, and you can control it insanely. You can say how many desktops you want and how it interacts with every other desktop. Whether you want Windows on top, it's just great. There's so many settings.
You can say if I start up Firefox, put it on desktop number 2. If I start Outlook, put it on desktop number 1 automatically. Don't ask me about it.
Yeah. Look, it's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I don't know. I've looked for something similar before because in the back of my mind, always I could remember the Mac has always had that, different desktop things.
And so is Linux, yeah.
Yeah. Why can't we do it here? But anyway, look at that. You have to Google it. I'm not sure what the website is, but it's DEXPOT, and it's
.de, I think it's German.
Oh, okay, yeah, but it doesn't. Luckily, it's in English, and I could understand how to use it, so it was good.
If you just type in Deskpot, it'll come up.
Yeah, sweet. Well, that's not going to be it. You're going to run that, no worries, Will. You'll have one desktop per video card, won't you?
Already do, but yeah.
In that machine of yours?
He's just going to upgrade them all to 4K monitors next.
I'm just going to buy another 4 monitors and just have 8 and be done with it.
Why
Actually,
not?
the new specs for the HDMI cable can support up to 8K.
Yeah, really?
Yep.
No, we only just got stuff that handles 4.
All right.
We got some new monitors at work because we had a power surge during that massive storm on the weekend that blew up the monitors on the computer at work. So I finally talked the boss into getting some new ones, and we're still using 15-inch CRTs. So finally convinced him to get new ones. He goes, 19s, they're big enough. And I went, well,
really?
No. So I said, look, you can buy some 19-inch ones for $189 each, or you can go to Officeworks at the moment and buy some 23.5-inch Samsungs for Samsungs for $129 at the moment.
Do it.
And the LCD LED backlit, they're really nice monitors actually for that price. Why not?
Yeah, why not? All right. Now, look, my first story this week is it's one of those ones that about Facebook and what they show, what they let through, and what they take off. Who's that rubbing their mic?
Warlock's blowing into his mic.
Oh.
Not here.
So anyway, look, I've had a couple of. I've only ever complained to Facebook once, and that was I had some photo that was shared to me, and it was like full on nudity. It was a video. It was just going crazy, and I went, "Oh, this shouldn't be there." So I reported it. Yeah, and 6 months later, I got a message back saying, "There's nothing wrong with that. We'll let that through." I'm going, "Well, are you guys kidding me?" But anyway, Facebook's refused to remove pictures of this pilot that that was burnt by ISIS. Whenever it was before. Now, I just think that that should be removed. I can't see why that should stay up there. Like they've taken down beheadings and they've let them come back up again. And I don't know. I just think there's some stuff that shouldn't be seen. What do you guys think? Do you say, oh look, it's free country, free speech, everything? Let's
No, I think
show it
they've had people on there put beheadings and stuff like that as well, and people think free speech. But I think there's a lot of stuff that we really don't want to need to see. If you want to look for that sort of stuff on the internet, fair enough, go look for it. But putting it in a easily shareable place and everyone starts sharing it, and you get to see the problem with Facebook is, Glenn talks to somebody who I've never met. I don't have them on my friends list. I have nothing to do with them. But because he commented on their thing, it shows me. And I'm like, why do I need to see this thing? But it's a feature of Facebook. So it could be, Bob says, oh, I'm sharing this to my mate. He's into this, horror stuff. And other people who have nothing to do with it and don't want to see it, it gets pasted on to Bob's
wall or whatever.
Screen wall, and it just shows up in other people's feed for no reason, which is ridiculous. It's a stupid feature of Facebook. I don't want to see other people's conversation with stuff that I have no interest in, but they shove it down your face, and then stuff that you are interested in, they filter out to make it better for you.
Yeah, look, it's no good. I don't, especially this type of stuff. Like, why do you want to just start sharing around other people's pain? I mean, and stuff?
It's no different than she opened the fridge and you won't believe what happened next. Like, really? I care that
They're
much?
actually putting in blocks for that now. They're going to detect stuff from like Shareably and BuzzFeed and all that crap and automatically filter it out so that you don't get to see it, which is a great idea because those, trap sites
unless
that are
you're
just coming out with sensationalist headlines are like, this man was getting bullied by some people and he did this one simple trick that doctors hate. You won't believe what it was. And your mind was exploded like mine. My head just, the top came off and all these brains and stuff. Oh, no, wait, that's...
Yeah, it's rubbish. And, that's...
that's a different story.
Facebook does have a minimum age requirement of 13, but seriously, there's probably younger people out there.
I guarantee there's more people on there between 10 and 13 than there probably is from 13 to 30.
Yeah, and I'd be absolutely horrified if I thought that one of my kids accidentally came across that sort of rubbish. Like, it's just crazy. I'm talking about the actual video, not the contents of the video. But it's no good. That shouldn't be there anyway. So that's where we're at on that subject. All right.
Thanks for starting on a downer.
No worries.
That's right.
We got nowhere to go but up.
Exactly. That's why we do it.
I don't
know. Jace, what have you seen this week?
Flying at over 30,000 feet above the Earth is increasingly no impediment to phone and internet use, and Qantas and Virgin Australia are both working to make that a reality for their passengers. Already more than 20 airlines worldwide have adopted technologies to allow flyers to stay connected throughout their journey. Service provider Mobile On Air revealed the demand had never been higher, with 80% of passengers carrying smartphones, with 37% of them making use of in-flight networks. Text messaging accounted for 31% of usage and phone calls made up 21%. These usage numbers show very clearly that people don't want to switch off at the aircraft door. So despite skepticism about the compatibility of mobile phones and air travel, in-flight usage was not causing disruption naysayers had predicted. Millions of people connected in flight on planes last year without a single complaint about noisy phone calls.
Yeah, I reckon leave it on. But where does the plane get the Wi-Fi from? Like when it's up?
Satellite.
Yeah, okay. Good answer. All right.
Well, it depends on where they are. If they're over land, they can still get signal from towers, but once they go
the problem
overseas,
is though with the switch over and handoff between towers when you're traveling at such speeds is puts a lot of work on the towers and it slows everything down, so better to get it from satellite or something.
Yeah, right. Okay, nice. Yeah, I saw just keeping with the flight sort of theme there, I saw it was at Alibaba over in China. They're starting to deliver some goods via their drones. They're having a trial.
Drones popular these days.
they've been trying that for a while.
Yeah,
Just about every government's banned it.
I can't.
See, one guy working for the government accidentally got drunk last weekend and flew it into the White House grounds. Crashed his drone.
And what irritates me no end is the media doesn't apparently know the difference between a quadcopter and a drone.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
One carries a bomb and can nuke you, and the other one's controlled by some guy's cell phone.
A little webcam.
Yeah, so look, for the life of me, when I first started hearing about that people wanting to deliver, Amazon delivering books, via copters or drones, whatever you want to call them, and Domino's doing pizza deliveries, I'm thinking, what happens when these things crash? They just fall out of the sky.
Well, your pizza's late, isn't it?
Well,
someone get it free because it's late.
Yeah, or someone's going to get a free pizza.
Or it runs out of range and someone scores a free quadcopter. I mean, either way, it's a win-win.
Well, yes.
You've got a shotgun.
That's
what
I've often
everything.
wondered. It's all fine and dandy to say, okay, no worries, here, have your pizza, we're delivering it by quadcopter, but once it actually gets there, and the guy just opens his front door and goes, oh, screw the pizza, I'm taking the quadcopter.
Yeah. Hijack.
Yes. Yeah, so when I was over in the US, we went on a flight from San Fran to LA, and they had Wi-Fi.
On a quadcopter, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know, all five
carry
of us.
anybody.
All right. Will, have you got anything for us to digest this week?
Yes, sir. As you know, I've been putting up on Facebook about it. The new Raspberry Pi has been released.
You love it.
For those who don't know, the Raspberry Pi was started a few years ago as just a low-powered, cheap, I guess, prototyping sort of style board, but it ended up being a lot more than that. It could play games, it could do videos, all that sort of stuff. Fairly low spec, low-end, cigarette packet size sort of deal.
Right.
The new one is pretty insane. The new specs on the new one's just been released, the Raspberry Pi 2. It's now a 900 meg quad-core processor, Cortex-A7, which was up from a single-core 700 meg before. It's got 1 gig of SD RAM, which previously only had 512. It's backwards compatible. It's the same form factor. It's got a 10100 Ethernet, 40-pin input-outputs. It's got 4 by USB slots instead of the 2 the previous one had. It's got 4-point stereo, full-size HDMI port, HDMI port. It's got various bits and pieces. It uses a micro SD slot instead of a full SD card that the other one used, which was obviously a good way to save time. And the best part about the new one, for those who care, is it will run Windows 10.
Nice. Very good.
It's quite powerful. There's already a lot of sites out there at the moment toting it for server usage. And for things like that, because it is so small and such low power. It's run off USB ports, so it uses 5 volts. New, what's it called? The new operating system, the new Noob. Called Noob, which is right in front of me, and I've completely misplaced the story. It runs on, where is it? Oh, dagnammit. I had it there highlighted so I could go to exactly what it stands for. But hang on, let me see if I can find it. No, it's not going to let me do it. But yeah, it runs a new version. Or they've updated all the software to cope with the multi-core and things like that. So
right,
it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. I've got the original Pi. It's downstairs as a MAME box now for my my arcade machine I'm building down there.
Out of box software.
How do you find? Can you still get MAME? Can you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
MAME.
And
it runs. The thing's powerful enough to quite easily run PS2 games.
And when you say it's powerful enough to be a server, how powerful is what? So it can be like a little Linux server.
The new one, the new one they're touting. There's actually some people, even with the previous one, just had massive racks full of these things just acting as servers, especially for VM and things like that, business service, that sort of stuff.
Unreal.
But the new one obviously being
Very
much
cool.
more powerful.
You don't need to cool them down and run them too much.
Yeah, and being 5 volt, they don't use any power.
Yeah, use flash memory for
They're
the
actually
hard
really
drives.
good. They're good for in-car computer systems and onboard entertainment systems and stuff like that too, because they are such low power and they're so small. They're fantastic to throw in a car and use for that sort of stuff as well.
You could build a little device and you can put one in like a handheld MAME game.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm doing downstairs. I'm actually making a proper wall cabinet, like about the same size as what The Simpsons or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4-player ones used to be.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm actually making one of those, and it's using that as the MAME encoder. I've actually bought proper arcade joysticks and buttons and running through a USB emulator and everything. So
Right, yeah, nice work. Because I remember MAME, I was doing 90s, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
I've I think I've still got MAME 32. Is that? I suppose it's progressed since then, or was it?
Not really.
That's where it stopped.
it doesn't need it to
More
because it plays
drivers.
all the arcade games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more compatibility now, but it's still the same. It's got flashy front ends and stuff like that now, but it's still the same software.
Yeah, because I see you got to buy the ROMs now. Before they used to just download them.
Technically, you always
willy-nilly.
had to buy them.
You got to buy
Yeah.
quotes, buy them. Yeah.
Right.
Unless you bought a
You
board
can
that had the
buy
ROM
them
on it.
from eBay or buy them from a website.
Yeah.
Or you could buy them from
Download.
BitTorrent, yeah. I mean, if you ever had a board, so the idea was the old boards were dying. So a lot of people still had the old cabinets and they wanted ways to play the old games. Well, the concept was that they could take the ROM, burn the ROM, and play their game on the emulator.
Yeah.
And of course, it spread from that, but that's sort of the original intent behind it.
Plus, you want to preserve all the old games and technology from back in the day.
Yeah, look, I think one of the only games I haven't got, probably maybe I should go and get back into it, is Phoenix. I remember I used to like that game.
That was great fun.
Yeah, but anyway.
Lager, Galaxian.
Yeah, I think I got a couple of those. Yeah, they're all good.
Ghouls and Ghosts,
Yeah, Ladybug, all that sort of stuff.
Pitfall.
Well,
Alex Kidd,
there's
Wonder
another
Boy.
there's another topic for your old fart geeks, the MAME games. You guys love
Oh
it.
yeah, that's a great podcast. I've heard of that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
a couple of guys talk
Quite
about
popular on
stuff.
YouTube. Number one.
With a bullet.
Needs it.
Now, well, tell us about it while you're there, Jace. Old fart geeks.
Yeah, I
Everyone-
normally spruik it. You can have a go this time.
Off Geeks is our show about retro technology and computing and technology over the years. We get a lot of our stories from Tom Merritt's this week in tech history, and we just go through each of those and discuss each of the concepts and things that have happened and add on our own point of view and our own tilt to it. And just have
And
a great
fact check the stories.
Yeah, and Will comes up with all this stuff, and some of it's even real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good stuff.
actually.
And you can find that on iTunes or YouTube, I guess. Very
That's
good.
it. Yeah,
And
video or audio.
and the Aussie Tech Radio, of course. That's,
Exactly.
AussieTechRadio.com.au, 24/7 shoutcast. Just jump on in whenever you want. New shows every Friday. You'll love it. All right. Now,
Who said segues can't be smooth?
yeah, that's right.
Well, I
talk-
could do a segue from before. You were mentioning that the new Raspberry Pi on Windows 10. Have you guys tried it?
no.
What, Raspberry Pi or
Oh,
Windows
Windows
10?
10, you mean?
Windows 10.
Yeah, I briefly tried it. I didn't mind it. I didn't do too much with it. But yeah, I loaded it up. Looks pretty nice. Probably a
It's
few
kind of
builds
like
behind.
my Windows 8.1 with the classic start menu. Only they also have their live tiles in your pop-up menu. Well, as well.
Yeah, look, I don't think. Oh, God.
They got rid of that stupid charms crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard to. It's very hard to give it an accurate speed rating because obviously using it through a VM is going to be slower, but it does seem pretty quick even running through VM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did for me too.
Yeah, oh, good. Well, if it's quick, we'll get it, and we'll probably everyone's going to get it, aren't they? Because it's free if you got Windows 7.
Pretty much.
So, look, I've got a little story here while we're going on with
Can you
that.
finally upgrade your Vista?
Oh, look, I've still got a couple of copies of Vista. Does anyone want them? I think I might have.
Why?
I might have 3. Going cheap. Now,
There's a reason for that.
Now, while we're talking about MAME and all that, coding from yesteryear, what about teaching your kids to code? How good would that be? Now, Scope IT Education, you would have heard Frank last week talk about it. He's offering a business opportunity, and that's what he does. This opportunity is it's your own little business. Go around to the primary schools and teach the young kiddies to code. Instead of playing Squishy Bird and Squashy Frog, they can code their own.
He's up.
Thing.
He's hip. He's down with the 411.
I reckon.
The squishy bird.
They're an up-and-coming
I
game
used
that
to
haven't
play
been
Squishy
released
Frog
yet.
on my VZ200. It had the cars go across and you hop across the
I
road.
think,
and
I
then
think
you
most
go-
people refer to that as Frogger, but anyway.
Yeah, the
Ah,
one. Yeah,
Squishy
well,
Frog.
isn't there? There's a squishy bird and all that. Well, yeah. So, So look, it's a great little opportunity. It's new to Australia. It's been curricularized and all that sort of stuff. So they've built proper curriculum and all that. They give you all the help in the world to get you started and get you in and making some coin. So, and I was just talking to, and just to show you that it is, it's yeah, it's a sought after service, I suppose. Is that look? I was just talking to Warlock before the show, and he's got a little girl. What'd you say? How old is she? She's primary school age. And you sat down with her and taught her to code a bit and got some apps up on the on
Java,
the thing.
and we did app in Lua.
Right, and she found it all right. She liked it.
She enjoyed, yeah. We had a lot of fun, and we created our own sound effects, and she drew all the graphics for the game. I digitized them into the computer. We did sound effects, came up with ideas for power-ups and things that you collect and stuff like that. It was great.
Yeah, right. And that was, did you do iOS? I can't remember what you said.
Yep.
Yeah, iOS, right. And did you threw it on the App Store?
It's there now, yep.
Oh, still there. Good stuff.
Yep.
And
Fairy Defense.
What is it?
Fairy Defense.
Oh,
You
right.
have to defend your fairy against the dragon who's trying to breathe fire on her.
Right. Well, is it free?
I thought you said bury the fairy. I'm like, what?
Is it free?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to download it then.
Get it now while stocks last.
How good
Quick,
is that?
pump it up, pump the price up,
batteries
quick.
included.
Yes.
In Dolby Surround where available. No. All rights reserved.
Yeah, if your iPhone has Dolby Surround.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's how it goes. Everyone, all the kids, they're all getting into it. They love it. So if you think that might be something that you'd be interested in, go and have a chat to Frank. Get his contact details off the Scope IT Education.com.au website. And we thank Frank and Scope IT Education for their support of the show. All right, where are we going to now? Let's go, I don't know. Jace, you must have something else.
Yeah, Fitbits, wearables, call them what you will. Just don't expect your wearable fitness technology to, actually make you fitter. The theory is that you strap a Fitbit or Jawbone up or equivalent device to your wrist. The ability to monitor your sleep, exercise regimen, etc. encourages you to then pursue a healthier lifestyle. But a new piece of research kind of debunks that connection. Writing in the Journal of the American Medical Association, a research of the University of Pennsylvania found that strapping a rubbery piece of tech to your wrist and recording all the data doesn't necessarily drive behavioural change. Sure, it makes you feel all techy and fitness obsessed, but it doesn't actually make you any fitter. The gap between the recording application now that you can challenge your friends. So you start a weekly challenge on Monday and invite up to 10 friends into your challenge group, and then you see how many steps they've done for the day, and then you try and beat that, and then the next day they try and beat you, and at the end of the week it tallies up everybody's steps to see who's the winner, and then presents them with a little winner icon on there.
Sweet.
And you get to cheer your friends as they go along. It got me yesterday walking for an hour and a half through the bush just so that I could beat a friend of mine at work, and we got this friendly rivalry going on now. So he'll send a message in our group. He's like, Warlock, I got another 5,000 steps on you. So then at lunchtime and every break that I have during the day at work, I go around the block at work or head across the bridge to South Bank and then run up and down there and then back to the office. And I'm like, okay, I got 2,000 ahead of you. So he's like, right, I'm going down to Coles. And
Have you tried just sitting there and putting it in the paint mixer?
Yeah, that'll get him. Defeats the purpose, but it's certainly getting me out and getting fit, doing 10 to 15,000 steps a day, which you set as your personal goal. Mine used to be 10, but I've moved it up to 15 now because 10 wasn't enough. I was hitting that goal too easily, but it's just the motivation of going against friends. We'll sit in the office and go, Jason's friend in Brisbane has just clocked another 10,000 steps, so we'll cheer her on, but now it's time for us to get another 15,000 so that we can beat her, and it's actually pushing us and doing really well.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And now, if only I had some friends that might work perfectly for me.
So this is the Fitbit, Jace, that you got. Is that right?
Hey?
Sorry, what was that, Glenn?
This is the Fitbit that you've got.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mine's
cool.
the Fitbit 1. I can show you that little fella there.
Oh, yep.
When you turn on the screen, you can see
Oh, yes.
how many steps I've done today, 9,397. You've got 11 flights of steps covered,
Nice.
6.93 kilometres, 2,275 calories.
Wow.
And then the next one is your flour, which will grow the more activity you do.
Nice work. Good
is
stuff.
great.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, now look, I've just had a text. Hello, Eric. He's listening. He's watching us live from Hong Kong. So how's that going? So I think he's on his way
felt
home.
my ears burning.
It's funny, Fitbits are still $100.
So
Yeah, they keep bringing out new ones. My daughter got the Fitbit charged for Christmas, and it's got a little clock on it, and it looks like a mini watch, so they're great.
Your microphone's playing up too. We're locked on to buying your headset.
I've muted that several times, and the noise has still been going while I'm muted, so I don't think that's right.
Yeah. So your computer's exploding then.
Yes. So if you want to watch us live do the show, you can, like Eric's doing it right this second. You can just go to aussietechheads.com.au/live, and it is Thursday nights, Queensland time, 7:30. From 7:30. So jump in and have a look.
Yeah, anytime from 7:30.
Yes.
Don't expect us to actually be there at 7:30.
No, from 7:30. But there'll be some sort of stream by at least 7:40.
8:30.
No, well, pretty much we turn the stream on at around 7:30, 7:35, something like that. But anyway,
Even if there's nothing there, it's just an empty picture. There'll be something happening.
there'll be something there. You can hear Will making fart noise under his arm or something. You know that's what Will does when he's off camera.
Yeah, so I make those with my mouth.
All right, now look, something to do with your Fitbit. Kogan, he's remember old Kogs? You know Kogs. He's expanding from technology into groceries of all things. He's gone into sporting equipment. He's going down the same health track as Jace there. Kogan has launched home delivery grocery service called Pantry. And another example of he's trying to reduce his reliance on technology sales. Now, a total of 600 supermarket items are available on Pantry, including brands like Dove, Colgate, Palmolive. Oh, it's all soap. Pringles, Powerade, Gillette, and Heinz. So Kogan's move beyond consumer electronics, as I said, is also into the sporting goods. And now Rosalind Kogan was last year in the top 200 BRW's rich list in Australia. So he's doing all right. Estimated worth about 320 mil. That's not bad. He can afford to branch out in a few little different spaces, can't he?
And then I talked to the guys at work. I'm like, "What? You guys ever got anything from Kogan?" They're like, "Who's that? What? Never heard of Kogan." I'm like, are you computer techie geeks or what?
Yeah, because through the week I put up on the Facebook page, Kogan was selling some SSDs, and they were pretty good prices. But like, I don't know if have you ever bought anything from him? Like,
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of
Got
things.
my phone from him.
And that what?
LG G3,
Wow.
32 gig. You can only get the 16 gig from any carriers in Australia, but he had the 32 straight from Singapore, and it was $69 cheaper than getting it from Telstra, Optus, or Vodafone.
But he.
I would go for any of the brand stuff. I'm
Yes,
not keen
I
on
was gonna
the Kogan branded stuff because
Yeah,
it's
but-
even cheaper.
But that's no
quality
different
still,
than that's no
but
different.
LG's
Than good,
LG.
yeah, it's like Good Guy's own brand. It's half the price of anything else, but there's a reason it's half the price of anything else.
Yeah. All right. Now, while Will's just getting...
I'm going to be shopping here. I was just looking at some of the stuff that's here, and I know for a fact that like there's where was this other BAM I just saw up here? We buy BAM to use in the shower and stuff, obviously. Yeah, 99 cents instead of $6.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right.
Hang on, if I zoom out a smidge more, you'll probably be able to see that.
Who cares if it works?
So yeah, it's yeah. Well, I mean, it's BAM. It's
Watered
brand
down,
product.
but yeah, that's a pretty good, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's all right. Because I think, some of those cheap shops, like the $2 shops and everything, they'll get brand name stuff in there for really cheap. So is that must be different sizes or must come imported from
but
another
most
country?
of the
Usually
stuff, if
stock
you-
that someone's going out of business.
yeah, or
somebody's
it's
got
from
too much stock.
Vietnam or something,
They'll get
and
it
you
cheap.
see it's the
Right.
front's English and the back's Vietnamese or something.
Yeah.
Well, they still have real branded stuff there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, William, have you got any other things tonight?
I do, but I'm looking at.
All right,
Kogan,
well,
sorry. No, it's okay.
He was getting
There's-
very excited by Kogan.
Yeah, there's some
That rustling
interesting,
guy's a bit of a right.
some very interesting things.
Love that
Um,
beard.
This is the story I was trying to find when you were talking about
You look like Kogan.
flights before.
Yeah.
Bitpos, which is part of Bitcoin, is now using. Webjet is now accepting Bitcoin as payment for your flights, and it is part of part of Bitpos, which is like your FPOS way of doing it. Customers on online travel agent Webjet can now book holidays without opening their wallets after the company became the first Australian company to accept Bitcoin. That's not true. But anyway, customers can purchase travel deals using the
It's a good story.
cryptocurrency in their smartphones. The payment option is being trialled on Webjet, holiday package, the global travel booking website, and soon could be introduced to flights, accommodation, and insurance. Webjet's teamed up with the Australian Bitcoin startup Bitpos to help develop the payment process for its Webjet exclusives. So, yeah.
Is Bitpos
it's
the one that's installing all the ATMs in Australia for Bitcoin?
Yeah. Yep.
That's bloody crazy. I don't know what people do with the Bitcoins when they got them. Like, what's Webjet going to do with them?
collect them and wait till they go up in value like any other currency and then sell them.
Well, at the moment, see, it's a very volatile currency still because it was in 2013, it was over $1,200 per Bitcoin. Now, currently, as of Wednesday, it was $230.
Can you log in to Webjet and see how much a flight costs you? How many Bitcoins it costs? What is it? It must say how much Bitcoins. Yeah. All right. Well, while you're doing that, Will, let me go on to this other one here. This is one, Jace, that you should take heed because it's coming for you. Entire websites are being locked for ransom. So I've had ransomware on our computers, but now it looks like the ransomware is filtering its way into websites that were on hosting services and stuff. So this security firm, High Tech Bridge, has identified a new type of threat that's similar to the concept of ransomware. But what happens is it gets into the database. So what they do is the little nasty people, they'll get in there and they'll put like an encryption code on certain fields in the database or whatever.
Like CryptoLocker.
Yes, but then they just sit back, twiddle their thumbs, have a game of cards, couple of beers. 6 months later, your site, you're going along fine. Your site's backing up. It's just going fine. Nothing wrong. Happy days. And then they take the encryption key away. 6 months later, bang, site's no longer working. And and the reason why they do this in length of time, like 6 months.
Backups.
Yes, right, because all the backups that you're doing day after day, week after week, month after month, they're all being deleted as new backups are being taken. So therefore, once you get to say 6 months, like you might maybe have a working copy of your backup of your website from say six months ago or last year. But that's so much data and if it's relying on a database, it's potentially a huge amount of data that you might not be able to get. So, according to some reports, $50,000 is the ransomware. Sometimes it's $1,000, but it's terrible. Like, this is crazy.
Keep your WordPress, its plugins, themes, and Joomla, and its plugins and themes all up to date at all times. But it's still going to be a possibility.
Yeah. So, like, this is look. Hopefully, I'll never see anything like this. But you'd be screwed, wouldn't you? Like, how do you get around this sort of stuff? But anyway, I'm just trying to read here and see if there's any more guts in this story. But
some security firm's going to analyze it, reverse engineer it, and make some money on selling unlockers.
Right, but really,
I mean, for CryptoLocker, there's a website where they do it for free for you, but somebody's going to. I mean, how many companies have monetized viruses? The whole company runs $1 million company thanks to viruses.
Yeah, so I don't know. You just got to try and, don't get it. Keep, as Jay said, keep everything up to date. Just make it all.
Where would Norton's be without viruses?
Yeah, well, if you're going to do a backup, you can't. Can you? I was going to say make two, but that's not going to fix it.
Would make any difference?
But no. Oh dear. All right. Will, any luck with Webby yet?
We're going to go back to flat file. Text.
Why not?
It's bizarre. It's telling me I can. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
All right. Jace, did you have any more stories?
Sure do. As it looks to expand globally, Netflix's CEO has spoken about how it plans to make international flavours of the service as strong as the United States and what he believes the standard of internet needs to be. Speaking at Netflix's Q4 earnings results call, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings confirmed his company's intentions to snap up global rights to TV shows rather than on a country-by-country basis. We had the vision to start to figure out how to get global rights for some of the content by moving up the food chain, he said. And we have been pushing on that dimension where we can get the global rights and we don't have to go country by country across 200 countries, but instead can provide the producer upfront money, guaranteed money, and great access. By doing this, Netflix hopes to end people using VPNs and DNS spoofing methods. Who would do that?
Oh.
I don't know anyone who would do that.
No.
To access the US side in areas like Australia by giving everyone the same content. It's not clear how many Australians currently use a backdoor method to access the service, with some believing it's up to 200,000. An Netflix spokesman told us that currently they don't block Australian credit cards in case they're being used by Aussies living in the US.
Quite legitimately.
Netflix will launch in Australia in March, hooray, with what will initially be a lackluster lineup, missing key shows like Orange is the New Black and Better Call Saul, which Foxtel's Presto and Fairfax 9 owned Stan have the rights to, respectively.
Now, Foxtel has dropped because they own part owners in Presto. Foxtel's bringing out broadband. You'll be able to sign up for broadband, the internet through them.
All this time that Murdoch's been, we don't want broadband in this country. Tony, don't let them get broadband. Get rid of that stupid NBN thing. Oh, wait. I've got to have to compete with Netflix. Let me release Presto. Oh, wait, everybody needs broadband. Quick, get everybody broadband now. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so Foxtel's bringing in broadband, and so Presto, no surprises here that Foxtel said, well, they're going to drop. There's no data counting or whatever they call it. They're not metering data if you're watching the Presto, which is supposed to be something like an hour TV show, is about a gig, something like that, because it's probably high definition.
I've got unlimited TPG. We stream Netflix all day, no problems.
Yeah, and that's about all for that one. Telstra, so Telstra, which also owns part owner of Foxtel, hasn't announced whether it'll also offer special little incentives.
Well, it'll be supplied by Telstra anyway, right?
But I was going to say, with the Apple TVs, if anyone's got those, there's a couple more little additions. I don't know if you've seen the cricket app on the Apple TV. That's got a few little good things on there.
No, we got our Apple TV US eyes, so it'll stream Netflix.
I was only thinking about that the other day. Like, you're probably going to have two, wouldn't you? So, because obviously all these things are going to start coming out on the Australian one.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I haven't been on the show for a while, but I ended up being down in Melbourne now. I've got friends coming over. They bring their kids over, and the kids say to my daughter, geez, your dad's got a little TV, hasn't he? Because I only had a 26-inch LCD for the last 8 years. And so I went, stuff it. I went out and got a 50-inch big screen.
I'll teach those little whippersnippers.
Yes. And because I thought, I'll give the small one to my daughter. 26 inches okay for the bedroom, and I wasn't using my Apple TV, and it's only an Apple TV 2, so it only does 720p, which is fine resolution for watching anything. So I put the Apple TV in there, configured it to the Netflix, and she can watch 720p on that TV in the room with the kids, and the adults can watch 1080p in the lounge room on the big screen.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
Everybody happy.
So the other little app that's on the Apple TV now is 10Play. So it is much better than the app on the phone trying to send it to the TV, let me tell you, because I hated it. But all those apps, Jump In on Channel 9 and the 7, they're rubbish. They are crap. Like, if you're trying to send it to an Apple TV or something, they need to have a look at themselves. Go and hire some decent people or something.
Only one that's worth having is ABC iView, so you can watch Doctor Who on your big TV.
Yeah, iView works pretty good, all round app and to Apple TV. But 10Play, it's good. It's look, I'll tell you what, like, because we've been watching, and I know you probably laugh, but we've been watching the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and because we've been watching it on 10Play. Yeah, there we go. Don't have to laugh. And so we've been watching on 10Play, and like, it's high def. I think it's actually a better picture than streamed on Channel 10. Well, I think it's high def, And anyway, so when we're watching on that, it's a night behind on the 10Play because they wait till it airs before they put the next episode up. But because it's so easy, we're just watching it when we want the next night and without any ads. Or there's a couple of ads, but not as bad. Or you can fast forward them even. But so that's
and you can start watching it at 5, or you can watch it at 10 whenever you want to watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, William, I see you've got something on the screen there.
Yep, going through. You got to actually go through the checkout process and everything before it will let you see what the deal is with the bitcoins. But as you can see, what happens there is it ends up giving you this is a $99 package, as you can see down the bottom there, or $999 travel package. And once you go through the checkout, it gives you the option on how you want to pay. You click on bitcoins. It brings you to this screen, gives you a 5-minute countdown, gives you the Q code to scan, which goes obviously through your bit POS or whatever it is and comes straight out of your account. It's 3.5. So at the moment the bitcoins are down. They're only worth $250 or something, or $300. But you just scan that and you instantly pay for it. There's no paperwork. There's no transfers. There's no remembering passwords and usernames. You just go and scan it with your app and you're done.
So how many bitcoins did you say? 3?
3.5.
Yeah, so that's pretty expensive then.
You can see it's pretty.
3.53828717.
That's right. It's very specific.
Pi.
Like
They should make it
That's-
pi 3.1. I can
So
do
that-
40 decimal places. I'm not.
it's a very specific amount of bitcoins. Like it's not like $1.15. You know, it's
Right.
super specific.
That is,
But
isn't
yeah, it's either going to cost you $1,000 or that much in
Got
Bitcoin.
5
So
seconds left, dude. Hurry up.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm
Three-
just curious to see what happens if you don't. Does it time out? It does. There you go.
No, just
Your
auto.
Bitcoin sessions explode.
It just
So
auto
that's a good
charges your
idea
credit
because
card.
it means that it sends you the email link and you got to confirm your email. So it gives you 5 minutes once you've confirmed to do it, and then it goes, well, you obviously didn't really want it.
You were just
So-
toying with us. Just toying.
You're just doing it for that tech podcast.
Yeah,
Now,
that's right.
Look, another couple of quick little Microsoft stories I've got here. Oh, remember the good old RT device, Surface RT? Finally dead and buried.
Try to forget him.
Yeah, if it wasn't already. Microsoft's confirmed it will not upgrade the RT, thank goodness, to its new Windows 10 operating system, and instead will only offer limited functionality upgrades to that OS. The company specifically excluded Windows RT and RT 8.1 in
You
the
didn't see that coming.
in the fine print. Look, I feel so bad for people. If anyone out there listening has got an RT, I do know someone that's got
I
one.
don't. Sucked in. It's your own fault.
Well, no, not really. Like people don't know, you know.
It's a Microsoft product. How could you not know they would stop supporting it after 3 weeks?
Yeah, but it was they tried to be like the iPads, you know, with their own little OS, but it just didn't work, did it? Microsoft is committed to supporting Windows 8.1 for the same period of time as the x86 version of the operating system, which will supposedly end with the end of support for 8.1 in October 1st, 2023.
x86 version. Who wrote that? Seriously? Who
X8
uses that terminology anymore?
Oh, it's everywhere. Don't you still use it?
So familiar you never even notice it anymore.
Well, that's right. Oh, I didn't know. You just know what it is. Now, where's my other? Oh, Microsoft gives away Office on Android tablets. Word, Excel, PowerPoint applications are available for free on Android. So whoopie doos.
They are.
And also, Outlook email is now available on the iPhone, iPad. Now, I think we've mentioned that before because I remember Eric saying that he didn't like it.
I've got another one for me to support at work.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, as big as the Note 3 is, it doesn't classify as a tablet, so I can't get it on here. But I do have 2 Samsung Galaxy Tabs, and I've got Office on both
Sorry
of
to
those.
hear that.
So
So you yeah, that's good, Will. Great.
well, it's
Well,
free. I figure might as well download. It
Might
makes
as
it
well.
easy, like because Sonia's stuck on bloody 365 at work, and
Yeah, okay.
And it's the easiest way to convert stuff to something usable is to just email it to herself, then use the tablet to convert it to a normal document that everybody else can actually read.
All right. Now, Will, what else have you got? You got anything else?
Yeah, so we're all talking about phones and things like that. The Moto X has been on pre-sale for a week in China, and it has sold over 1 million pre-sales
1 million.
in less than a week. Yeah.
No,
Which, I mean, it's a 5.2-inch Android smartphone, high-end device. It runs Lollipop and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, it's only been in pre-order, not even actually, you can't even get your hands on it yet. And, yeah, a million's already been pre-sold.
Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't Apple sell hundreds of millions in the last quarter or something over there in China?
Is that all?
Oh, that was crazy. I think last week we went through a couple of the stats. Well, I think their profit was something like 74 billion for the quarter.
Yeah.
Like, just loose change, isn't it? Just loose change.
But it's funny talking about China that Samsung, its biggest headache isn't Apple. Its biggest headache is actually China.
Right.
Because obviously China sort of
Don't
isn't
like 'em.
really known for its obeying, trademarks and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of rip-offs out there.
Samsung can't complain. Can't they? They're not known for obeying trademarks either, are they?
Except the ones that
go and
they've
ask
used
Apple.
and Apple ripped off, yeah. But basically, that's what's hurting at the moment. There's a lot of phones on the Chinese market that are exactly the same as Samsung's.
Ling Ling?
Something like 86 out of the 86 million Samsungs shipped in the current quarter, so a better example is probably previous quarter where it was more. But let's say 86 million in the current quarter. Of registered Samsungs, according to the Android operating system, there's actually only 6% of those are actual Samsungs.
Unreal.
So, yeah, they're struggling a bit there.
That's why they're a bit.
And whilst we're talking about China, everyone's familiar with the Great Wall of China, the Great Firewall of China.
Oh, yes.
Now has a website, greatfirewallofchina.org.
Why
the
not?
Chinese government has launched a stronger, smarter censorship, apparently, wall which is more difficult to scale and circumvent than ever before.
Right.
It's reported by that the upgrade has blocked a lot of the virtual machines and a lot of the backdoors that they were using to get into things like Facebook, Twitter, Google, and YouTube.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of email services like Gmail that have been blocked. Hotmail's been blocked.
I just want to go it alone.
Basically, the
internet's been blocked.
Yeah, most of the internet's been blocked. There's actually now a website that's been set up, which is the greatfirewallofchina.org. You can actually go there and type in a website address and see if it's actually been blocked.
Yeah, right.
But they've just bumped that up. And now the Chinese government's introduced new regulations for international businesses seeking to operate in the country. A 22-page outline is handed to the companies who want to start setting up in China, who aren't actually owned by Chinese other companies. That's not the paper. That's just an outline. 22 pages of just outlines of things that you have to do.
What was the address of that Great Firewall of China website?
greatfirewallofchina.org.
Yeah, well,
click it.
Yeah, it's that good.
It's blocked.
It's blocked.
They blocked the. It's firewallception.
So if I went back, I was going to.
China got rid of it.
Hang on, I'll go back to the Google search because that was.
The domain is marked as inactive. For more information, contact your hosting provider.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hang on, let's go. You can't get in.
It's gone.
You can't get in. They
firewalled the firewall with a firewall.
Please
contact
your
dog, I
hosting
heard you
provider.
like firewalls, so I firewalled your firewall so you can firewall while you firewall.
That's it. They're firewall.
Oh, well, there you go. So apparently that site's been blocked as well.
Oh, well.
But,
such is life.
Yeah, so China's going gangbusters. A couple other stories quickly related to phones is that the Android 5.1 Lollipop has been pushed out over the last couple of days. It was just basically a quiet release.
Great, I've had it for weeks.
Yeah, over the air.
Yep, over the air install. And
there's been no official announcement, but the 5.1 has been coming out over the last couple of weeks for most people, especially Nexus 5, Nexus 6, Nexus 9.
LG G3.
If you've got things like that, it'll be heading into your device in the next few days. So yeah, it's just a sort of a. They're not really publicised. It's not really a game changer. It's just tightening the operating system up a bit. And KitKat is now running on 40% of Android devices.
Oh wow!
According to the latest statistics. So version 2.2 was Froyo. It's running on 0.4 of the devices still in use. 2.33 to 2.37 is running on 7%. That was Gingerbread. 4.03, 4.04 was Ice Cream Sandwich, running on 6%. 4.1, Jelly Bean, which was 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, is running on, in total, about 35% of the devices still. KitKat's still running on 40%, and Lollipop is just starting to creep in at 2%. So it's all starting to happen.
Lollipop.
Yeah, good stuff, Will. Bum, bum, bum. Now, the best.
That's it. We're done for the rest of it.
Look, there's a site that was taken down. It's up and down like no one's business, and it's not the Great Wall of China firewall. It's the
Microsoft.com.
It's the good old Pirate Bay. It's relaunched a month after being taken offline.
You know, it never went away, right? They just changed they just forwarded Pirate. You couldn't go to Pirate Bay anymore. If you Googled Pirate Bay, it went to like torrent.piratebay.com.
Oh, okay. Well, I went to the Pirate Bay when I read the story that it was down, and it was down. It didn't work. But anyway, like there's a message on there. It looks like it's fully back up and going. There's a message from Winston, so obviously he's one of the dudes there looking after it.
Winston with a Y.
Oh, so he goes, It's just weird. You go, so it's obviously tongue in cheek. So we first ditched the trackers, we got rid of the torrents, then we left the servers to enter the clouds. Now we're about to take the biggest step in our history. But then it goes on, and it's just obviously rubbish. It goes on, talks about in cooperation with Russian, Israeli, and Japanese neuroscientists, we are developing a device that will embrace your entire mind. Using laser projection directly onto the retina, it'll no longer be a resolution but 100%. Using a simple plug-in into the brain, you'll no longer be able to see and hear a movie, a game, or whatever it is you want. You'll be able to live it, play the main character, tweak any story in any way you want. So they're yeah.
This is the website I was telling you about. It basically says the Pirate Bay has been blocked in numerous countries. This is
Even China.
proxybay.info. And what it is
What's that second one? Labia.
German automaker BMW has just fixed a flaw, just a little flaw.
Oh, they fixed the floor. What about the roof?
in what's called connected drive software, which is what BMW is using to talk to your phones and mobiles and things like that. It basically allowed hackers to unlock the car by using their mobile phone.
Nice.
What it basically was that anybody could take your car because the Bluetooth the Wi-Fi that it used inside the car's got its own little Wi-Fi transmitter, and it wasn't secure. So the idea was you jump inside the car, then you could jump onto the Wi-Fi and go from there. But what was actually happening was if you stood next to the car, then you could hook up to the internal Wi-Fi and go, oh, I'm stuck in the car. Unlock, please. Oh, the car's unlocked. The immobilizer's disabled. Let's just take that. So you've got this incredibly expensive, $2 million BMW that someone can take with their iPhone. So apparently they've patched that and they sent that out in a quiet update by telling everybody in the internet about it.
I believe in the old days you could also get into cars using a mobile phone. You know those great big brick ones, the mobile phones? And if you threw it at the window hard enough,
that'd do the trick, you reckon?
You could get into a car with a mobile phone that way.
Well, you can actually get into a car using a mobile phone and RF key fob from the house. You can... It'll transmit, if you hold it next to the phone and press the button, the phone will transmit the signal to the other phone where the car is, and it will actually relay the information and unlock the car.
I love the good old key fobs. Great.
And also quickly, we know how Google was offering, they were paying out people who found bugs and flaws and vulnerabilities and things like that, and that they could prove it, they would get a payout.
Yeah.
So basically, Google paid out about $4 million, which at the end of the day is chump change, and it's a really good way of making sure your network's secure. What they've done is they've introduced a new grants program that basically it's a vulnerability research grants program offering cash to the top security researchers who want to investigate potential bugs, even if the flaws turn out to be nothing. The experimental program adds a fourth tier to Google's security rewards program. Which basically, unlike other Google's rewards, security researchers will now be able to apply for an upfront award to investigate an issue before they've submitted the bug. It is meant to encourage researchers who invest the time investigating flaws but fail to find an issue. The maximum grant is $3,500, which basically you can pretty much say, hey, I found a bug, give me money. Obviously, you've got to prove it a little bit, but the idea is that if you found something you think may be a flaw or a vulnerability, then you can say, hey, look, I need to spend a bit of time on this. Here's what I've got so far. They'll quickly review your work, go, yep, no worries, have $3,500. And then you can spend the next couple of days, fleshing it out. Even if it turns out to be nothing, it's better to find out that flaw is not really a flaw than, or if it turns out to be something, then it's only cost you $3,500 to find it. But if it turns out to be something, you then go to tier 2, which is a bigger payout than if you can prove it in the real world. You go to tier 1, which is their large payouts.
And you just put on your little submission that you must go to Paris because that is the only place that you'll be able to fix the thing properly.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
But see, they're like their Chrome bug one, for example. Their bounty on the Chrome bugs is $15,000. So each tier of bugs has its own sort of.
It doesn't count if you've got a plug-in for Adobe because seriously.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's why they went to HTML5 as we discussed last week. And on a sort of not really news but a fun little thing, has anybody seen the pixel art Simpsons intro yet?
No.
I saw there was one.
You haven't seen that?
No.
It's really cool. It's done by a couple of Australian designers, and they basically sat down and turned the Simpsons introduction to pixel art.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool. You can check it out on YouTube, obviously, but you can see pixel art is not real art.
Yeah, that's pretty
So,
cool, isn't it? So
it's even got the old 8-bit sounds and everything like that. It sounds really awesome. It sounds like now somebody actually needs to turn it into a computer game because it has that sound about it. It's actually really cool.
Marge looks a bit fat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that looks pretty
One
good.
of the kids is wearing an Oculus Rift.
It's two. Look at that. Unreal.
yeah, they had a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah, that's unreal. Oh, we'll have to go back. We'll have to watch that in full.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
you go and
cool.
check
Good.
that
Oh, he's getting points as he goes in and out. The old Bart
Yep.
man. All right, good stuff. Look, now my final one quickly is, we all love Gumtree. I'll go there to get the best deals around. But now you can find this deal for $3,000. You can buy a Sydney Monorail car. Is that one of the
$3
cars?
grand?
$3,000.
That's cheap.
I know. Harry.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's what happens on our show too. I get all the tricky ones, give him to Will, and he's like, some guy.
Yeah, this guy, well, I think it's like you'd have to have a go and say Harry Tsoukalis is selling his 22.
Harry Zucchini. It was Harry Houdini's long lost cousin.
Selling his he's selling his 22 monorail carriages for $3,000 each on Gumtree. Why $3,000? Apparently, that's what they're worth as scrap metal. He said why he's selling them is he doesn't want to scrap them. He goes, well, it's a part of Sydney, part of history, and he'd rather they go to somewhere, I don't know, better than to be scrapped. So someone might find a use for them. Like Google found a use for them in 2013. They bought 2 of them, converted into meeting rooms for the
Hot air balloons to them and gave free internet to everybody in New Zealand.
And if they had to remove so in the Sydney office, they put them in the Sydney office, converted them into meeting rooms. They had to remove the facade of the building to even be able to fit the carriages in the building. Hey, be good to have that much money that little whims you can just fulfill.
Yeah, pull the side off a building, jam a car in there.
Yeah, Well, what they would have been better to do. Oh, you got a picture, Will. What they would have been better to do is build a track.
Monorail.
Yeah.
Speaking of The Simpsons, what a great segue.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you got the actual site up there.
Yeah, next to a Gumtree one.
You got his phone number? Ending in 7178.
Yep,
there you
there
go.
we go.
Give Harry a call. Give him a ring. Get the line on the line.
Oh, great now.
All right, good stuff.
Crashed
Broke the internet. Sorry.
Good one, Will. Just as well,
We'll get another one.
because we're getting out of here. Just
I'll make up for it later. I'll do that thing I did last time.
ask China. I think they got a spare one hanging around somewhere.
They're not using theirs, so I'll just borrow theirs.
No, I think China's down. The whole of China. It's
You
gone.
don't need to worry about those IPv4
speaking of-
addresses running out. We just get all the Chinese ones and we can use those now.
Yeah,
One
just-
hugely major story. I can't believe none of us thought it was super important that we had to mention it. Facebook went down for an hour the other day.
oh my
I
goodness!
thought you were going to talk about that new Gogglebox TV show. That looks awesome.
That looks awesome.
I don't even get the concept of it. What is it? Is it
No,
just?
it
Watch
is. We'll find out
people's
when it
reactions while they're watching TV. It's
Yeah,
like
I know.
YouTube reactions when you show them some disgusting video or something stupid and then you film the reaction of it put on YouTube, make a gazillion hits and lots of money. They're going to do that for TV shows. Here's Bob and his family watching A Current Affair.
Yeah.
Look at Bob.
What I want to
Bob an
know is
idiot?
why I wasn't asked to put a box on my TV. I mean, come on. Hello.
You don't watch TV. You just.
Point. I could have pulled it apart and seen what was
Sorry,
inside it.
doesn't count.
But like, is this? They reckon it's a worldwide hit. What do you reckon?
Well,
It's
it's
gonna
such a
be?
If I
worldwide
was
hit that
launching a
nobody-
new show nobody liked, I would call it a worldwide hit too.
Well, they did. I mean, I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. I mean, look at that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we'll
I've
watch
got to go.
that.
Yeah, quick, let's go. I've got to go and watch it now. All right, good stuff. Thanks, Warlock. Good to see you again.
Marsha.
Yes. Well, we're not going to see you next week because you might be working again. But we'll
Yep.
see you. We'll see you in 30,000 steps time.
So it's good night from me and it's good night from him.
Good night. Good night, Will.
And
See
it's
you-
good enough from him.
Thanks for coming in, Will. We might see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see how things go, hopefully.
We will. We will.
If he remembers, he might
Yeah,
get
that's
a
right. If
haircut
I
or
don't
a
forget
shave.
again. Just given I was only talking about it about 3 hours earlier, yeah. I mean,
And told me last night, we have to do our shows tonight because the other one's on tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah, that's right. I did too.
You guys are just podcast junkies.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Three
Right.
shows a week.
If only there was some way to make some sort of, I don't know, living
Money.
from it, it'd be great.
Well, get those hits up, I suppose. That's all we can hope. That's all.
Hit me
all
up.
of us can hope. All right. Let's.
Obsidianloft.com.
Yes, that's the one. Go there.
Geeks.com.
If you're into Minecraft, Old Fart Geeks, and AussieTechHeads.com.au.
You already know about that one. You're already here.
That's right. You are already here, and hopefully you'll be already here next time we're on. All right. So it's once again, it's goodbye from all of us, and I hope you have a good week. Bye bye.